My name is Ana Julia Monteiro, and I'm a Princeton student that got in at the University of Pennsylvania. So I heard about Princeton when I was in high school, and I'm a scholarship student in the university, so Princeton was paid, so it was not something that was very feasible for me. But I heard they give out like 2 scholarships per year, at least in Brazil they do that. And I applied to one of these scholarships. And I remember the application process for the scholarship per se was before the results of the universities, and I did apply 2 years. I applied on my 3rd year, and I applied, which is my last year of high school in Brazil. And I also applied in my gap year, which I think was very fun. And when I applied to that, I had a really good interview. I don't know what happened. I just know that I really had a good interview and they loved me. But when they gave out the answers for the scholarships that they give out in Brazil, I didn't get in. I didn't get it. I remember I was in Instagram and they're posting like the pictures of the people who got it. And I was like scrolling and couldn't find mine. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do this year? Like, I really need to have a really good application for college or like I'm not gonna get it. And I remember like emailing them like, what happened? Can you give me a feedback? And they said, oh, we liked you so much that we think you're gonna get in the university this year and not gonna need the scholarship. I was like, are you sure? I don't think I'm gonna get in. Because the difference of my interview for like Princeton and my whatever else I had to do for like my application for college was very far away. So I don't think I had a good application my 3rd year, and it happened. I didn't get in university like a month later after the results. I didn't get in the university. And when I didn't get in, I was like, oh, let me email Princeton again. And I told them, oh, I didn't get in. What do I do? And they just said, okay, let me think about your case. And like after some time, I remember they gave me another scholarship that was not part of like the 2 main scholarships they give out each year, which I was very grateful for. And I had a really grateful experience during that year just because I had like so many people just like advising me to do everything that I need to do, essays, even SAT, which I did not like put in the university, but it was a really good experience to have like SAT mentoring. And even like personal branding, when I applied for university, I had like a website portfolio, and I remember like with my advisor, I had to think about ways in which I could brand myself. So what was like my main like history, what was my main like thing, and I remember my thing was like education and like public speaking and Portuguese. I don't know if English it works, but it was my main thing, and I did my personal website portfolio and these like type of like skills. I also put like other skills like STEM related because I did a bunch of this in high school, but it was my main like portfolio when I went to university, and I think it was a differentiator, and that's why I like Princeton so much. Like we really do things that are not normal so we can really stand out in the application process. So I'm from Brazil, and in Brazil, Ivy Leagues are like really main colleges in the United States are not really known. And I remember that I didn't know what like University of Pennsylvania was. I didn't know what Harvard was or Yale or something like that because they kind of have a brand in Brazil, but not this one. And I remember that when I applied, I didn't know I wanted to do business either, but I kind of like started figuring myself out. And I applied to 2 like business schools, which was Babson and UPenn. And I remember that I did apply early decision for Babson, early decision 2, but it was very interesting because at the end of the day, I did not break any contracts. Just because when I applied to Babson, I applied early decision because I really want to get in somewhere, I'm sorry. And when they gave out the answer for me, they didn't give out in the deadline that was supposed to like be. So when they extended the deadline for me, because I needed scholarships too, so I was applying to like a bunch of things, they needed more time to review it. When they expanded the deadline, I didn't need to go like about the early like decision contract anymore. So it meant that I could choose whoever school I wanted to join. And that's exactly what happened. When I got into Wharton, I think it was very interesting because I really knew that it was a really good school because it was an Ivy League, like I knew what it was. But no one around me knew about that. So I really didn't know which one to choose between that bundle. So what happened to me is that someone from University of Pennsylvania reached out to me and they like a video chat with me, and they're like talking about all these universities in the United States and how to compare them. And like when I told them that I was choosing to go to another university and not the University of Pennsylvania, like Wharton School for Business, he said like, are you crazy? This is like one of the best like business schools in the world, if not the best. So how you're considering something else when you already have like Wharton? And I was like, oh, is that it? Are you sure? Like I remember like Googling it and seeing all like the ranks to see, and it was actually like one of the main schools for like business. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then I chose Wharton, and now I'm really happy that I chose Wharton to come here. If you like this video and want some more information, subscribe to Princeton Education.